Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Mill. I'm Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to get into what is mind control. What is mind control exactly? I'm in traffic real quick. Just like the motherfucking Matrix right now. I'm in an external spaceship right now. But goddamn it, you need to know this body is your spaceship. But what is mind control? You need to know what created your spaceship. And one of the first lighter in frequency spaceships you have is what we get ready to talk about. So what is your mind? Now, your mind is your minds, right? So when we talk about mind control, your minds are your mentalities, your chakras, your lights, your influences, the image that you give off for other people to be aware of you and for you to be aware or how you want to be seen. So for the most part, that's what this is. So when we talk about the minds, right? Now, the whole purpose of this is you're supposed to control these things yourself because your minds end up turning into your phoenixes. Your minds end up turning into your waters. Your minds end up turning it. It's all, whatever we kind of see these things and give it imagery, the imagery of it is what get manifested because we see it that way for so long. But for the most part, it's just a substance that we create as a spirit. And based upon the type of shape and form and the state of being that it take, that's the state of awareness that it's going to start to create, aka the light it give off, or the water, aka the influence it give off. However you want to call it. These are just different ways of explaining it. So when we're talking about your minds, right? Here's the thing. A lot of these turn into phoenixes. A lot of these things turn into desires because we get lost into our mental bodies. We get lost into our mentalities, our forms. We get lost into the way we see ourselves. We get lost into how other people see us. And if other people see us in a way that's in our favor, aka the influence that they do with their own spirit is in our direction in a favorable way, then it makes our light even bigger. And then more light adds blindness and darkness. And then a person to get lost in their own light just because they got other people helping them, helping their light become even brighter with more watts. You see what I'm saying? So you have to keep this in mind. When we start to talk about mind control, these are your minds. Now, your mind slowly but surely turn into your desires, things that you want and need, because you created these things based upon the substance of the world that you are in, the archons, periodic table, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Your parasites, your lights, you created it with this realm. So they're going to turn into your wants and needs. So here's the thing. The moment that this gets controlled externally, then you are mind controlled because your minds are being controlled. Now, you got spirits here that create gold mines. And then you have spirits here that are cobalt mines. It ain't nothing but rock and dust. Now, these mines know how to build. But gold mines just know how to create. So their mines is like silver and gold. And you can utilize this and melt it and reshape it and reform it. But a lot of times, gold mines don't know how to do that. They just know how to keep creating. Cobalt mines may not know how to create, but they know how to take the gold, the silver, and break it down and create things from it, create substance, create other shit for it, create technology. You see what I'm saying? So when we start to talk about the things of the world, right? All these things that's externally that the galactic feds then put out here and your family members and shit that then put out here, these are the things that you might look at and you might let these things control your mind. You see what I'm saying? You might think you want that. You might think you need that. You might think that's the right thing to do. You see what I'm saying? Keyword what I'm using. Think, feel, because these are what you're creating. And the different shapes and forms that you're thinking and you're feeling, your masculine and your feminine shapes and forms that you push out, the shapes and forms that they take becomes different desires, different passions, different motivations, different wants and needs. But a lot of times your wants and needs, passions and motivations are created before you. You don't have your own desires, passions, and motivations. You have other spirits that work in the Galactic Federation of Light, or spirits that just walked in this earth before you and did things that it appeared to seem like it works. And since spirits see something that works, they think it's the right thing to do, which that's false. But for the most part, we're in a circumstance where it's a group of spirits that have created things that other spirits think it worked. So since that spirit was in a space before other spirits, this is going to look like the thing that other spirits should do or other spirits should follow and live within that spiritual world. Whether that spirit have died and passed on and spirits can live through it, or spirits can live through the bodies that that spirit is creating still living in this existence. AKA, it might have created a business, it might have created a philosophy, a concept. All these are just bodies. You know what I'm saying? Thought form, a way of going about something. So a lot of times we we think that that's the one in need or the desire because it's already presented by another spirit, where another spirit just jumped into a space before a group of other spirits, aka had more experiences, more wisdom and knowledge, or did something that other spirits haven't done yet. So that spirit was in a space to develop chakras and feelings and emotions in that space before other spirits. So that spirit is going to be seen as the light, or the spaceship that spirit created, the mental that spirit created, the sun, the Jesus, the Lucifer, the light, whatever the word you want to call it, whatever it created, that's what it's going to be seen as. And whatever spirit signature is behind that energy, that force, that consciousness created, is going to be seen as the one that get praised for it. You see what I'm saying? Then you might have that spirits might leave that shape and form, and another spirit might jump into that shape and form and sign its signature behind it to be the face of that energy, to be the face of that body. But if that spirit can't withstand all the experiences that the spirit that originally signed the signature and created those numinos behind, if the spirit that's in it now can't withdraw those experiences, it's going to start creating denominations. It's going to start creating its own individual outlook, which it should have just been an individual in the first place. But that's a whole nother video. But when we're talking about mind control, you know what I'm saying? These are when the external world is able to control your desires in some way, shape, or form, your wants and needs. Now, here's the thing, because you got a bunch of conscious leaders that'll confuse you and get you to start believing that these are just government tactics. And for the most part, this could be your next door neighbor, your next door motherfucking neighbor that got your ass mind controlled. You see what I'm saying? So you have to separate everything. Don't just give credit to one spiritual group that's in a body. Whether you want to correlate it with race, or it don't matter, it's a group, it could be a whole government, they all work together and they all different races, but their spirits is on the same frequency vibration. You see what I'm saying? So before you start to add whatever that they're using to make them supreme, or to make you come up with words like supremacy and shit like that, right? They're utilizing something that has supremacy. So that's what you need to understand. So for the most part, when you want to say somebody is doing mind control, like the quote-unquote government, no, whatever tactics that they're utilizing is creating people for their minds to be controlled. So for the most part, you have to separate yourself from everything, because this ain't even just with the government. This is everybody. You see what I'm saying? Get over it. This is motherfucking everybody. Everybody has the ability to create some type of system where another motherfucker will be mind controlled in some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. This ain't just a government thing. This is ability that all spirits have. Now, you have a group of spirits that may do it better than other spirits, but that's here or there. And before you start to give that to one credit to one group of spirits, you know what I'm saying, that's where you start to fall short. And then that's when you start to give your power away, and then you don't have that actual power, which this is not even a power that we should actually be using, because the whole purpose is to control your own minds, control your own field, control your own firmament, control your own metal, control your own garden, control your own creations. And the moment you let an external person, place, or thing control your desires, control these things, then that's when you are mind controlled. The moment that you can control these things yourself and understand how to do things within moderation, and, you know, sometimes you may have to jump into this Venus energy, because Venus been teaching us this for eons. Which for the most part, you need to know about the things that you love, appreciate, value, and that you relate to, and what you're willing to compromise with. Diving too much into these things, it'll put you into energies where you have to learn how to do things in moderation, because you'll start to go overboard once you start to compromise too much. And compromising too much, you end up getting the short end of the stick. So you're not actually negotiating. You're actually just compromising, and then letting somebody else come around forcing you to compromise more than your will, compromise more than you actually have to. And then that's when you leave the field of being a spiritual business person, and you ain't got no esoteric lawyer, so your ass don't know how to negotiate what you worth. You only know how to take what's given to you. You see what I'm saying? And then you end up having one of those mentalities of settling for less. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who in the religious program had this mentality of settle for less. When you might get a supremacy or a superior group of spirits, right? And say they've been doing something for a long period of time, right? Now, say they just now start taking it easy on other people, right? Now, you will have the religious spirits being like, they'd take that with a grain of salt. They'd be like, well, at least they taking it easy on us now. No, they shouldn't have been taking it easy on you in the first place. How's you justifying that? So you're just basically settling for less based upon your immature spirit, because it's in a religious program. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind also. But when we talk about mind control, that's another version of mind control right there. Making you think that because you was never getting a whole box of donuts, now that you're getting a whole box of donuts, you should appreciate it. No, why wasn't you getting a whole box of donuts in the first place? See what I'm saying? Don't follow no fucking spirit like that. Now, for the most part, that's that subtle for less energy. You know what I'm saying? Where you just take what's given to you. That's a form of mind control. And that mind control came from the religious program. But another thing you need to understand too, here's the thing. We ain't gonna let the Galactic Feds get off the hook either, because they create a lot of things based upon the shit that they want to manifest, and the shit that they present out here be the shit that end up being the ways of the world also that you guys end up being controlled by, because your mind end up being lost into the world. So you end up thinking this is the right job, you end up thinking this is the right thing to do, you end up thinking this is the right person to marry, you end up thinking this is the right place to live, and then you'll be in a circumstance, in a situation where you're doing these things not because of you. You're actually doing this because of another spirit or group of other spirits and what they created. And they have already created a certain perception around it. And if that perception, that's an image also. So once you tap into that image and point your mental, your chakras and lights in that space where that image is at, you will start to see it. So it'll start to become your visions and imagination. And if that energy resonates with your state of being, slowly but surely, your spirit will travel there along with it. Because once your mind go there, your body leaves after. But your mind is your masculine, and your body is your daughters of men. And your spirit is controlling both of these things. So your minds have to go there first, and then the body will leave. So your minds is your light. Your mind has to already travel in that space. So your mental bodies is your spaceship. So your spirit be in a certain state of being, right? So that's like just circling around. Then you start to create a state of awareness around that. That's the light and the direction, right? So for the most part, once another spirit already created some shit in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension in the esoteric realm, a perspective about something, imagery about something, a way of perceiving something, that's like a dream, that's like a cloud. Now, once you point your mentals there, you said once you point your minds there, you point your chakras there as a spirit, you pointed your spaceship there. And if it resonates with your state of being, you will start traveling there based upon because you like that feeling. You get enticed by the light. And I told y'all how to travel in the yin realm. You can go to that video. Every video I ever make is always going to be correlated to all my other videos. You ain't going to never see me have to delete any videos or ever have to remix something or something like that. It's always just add on, because my channel is the true space. It's the true awareness of what's actually going on. So when you point your lights there, now that's your spaceships. So as a spirit, your mind already travels there. So you already there in that state of awareness as a state of being, as a spirit. And slowly but shortly, in whatever realm of reality you are in, taking a vessel, taking a daughters of men type of vehicle, that's slowly but surely going to start creating circumstances, manifesting people, places, and things and scenarios in your life to start to shape out that physically, to start to shape out that actual physicality of that state of awareness and state of being that you are already mentally in. You see what I'm saying? So depending on how far you in it, that's the faster it'll manifest in the 3rd dimension. Depending on how much you don't give it that much attention and percentage of your time, that's the further away, that's the longer it may take for it to manifest in whatever, if you're in the 3rd dimension at the moment. If you're in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension already, though, things going to play out different. You're going to be influencing from the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. But that's another video. But yeah, that's mind control in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you go on the internet and type in mind control and hear a whole bunch of indoctrinated versions of shit. That's why a lot of my videos, when I title it, I don't even title it like everybody else, because it's like cliche. So if you got a video called Mind Control, if you ain't already known for certain things and you're not already like got a certain attention, then a person ain't gonna see your mind control video. So you have to be unique or in some way. That's why, like I'm saying, like sometimes you just have to be different because there's so much forms of indoctrination. So that's why I want to warn y'all now, if you're new to my channel, if you do see me have a cliche title, it's just because I want to explain it in the most purest way, because there's so many indoctrinated versions of it out here. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So, because I'm going to title this Mind Control. But I'm pretty sure you never heard mind control in this way, like, ever. You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is. That's what it actually is. So the moment you let someone else control what you pay attention to, what you desire, what you want, what you need, you are mind controlled. So you can have a person who's vibrating very, very highly around you, right? And if you find your own spirit doing certain things to please their spirit, because their spirit is in a body just like yours. So if you start to desire, want, or need to please or appreciate this spiritual individual, then you need to know this spiritual individual got you mind controlled. You see what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up thinking that is this a government thing based upon the spirit that got you mind controlled knowledge. Keep that in mind. Because right now you could be mind controlled into thinking that mind control is only something that the government do. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. Love y'all.